hasn't done the micro bubbling thing yet. It's supposed to chill off tonight.
Involved with glass by going to the Alberta College of Art and Design, and I needed an elective to fill because my intention was going into photography. But in the 4 years I was at ACAD, I never took a photography course. I ended up taking glass in my first week, and that first day sampling hot glass, I knew right away that the process was like unlike anything I'd ever done before. It was so physical and demanding and so challenging. I felt like I had to explore it more, and I'm glad I have. Now and the guys have found our voice in glass, and it's been a really rewarding experience.
Bee Kingdom started in our third year at the Alberta College of Art and Design, and since glassblowing is a collaborative art form, the glass department was very tight-knit, and both Ryan, Tim, and I were all really good friends, already blowing glass together at college, and all three of us knew that we wanted to keep making work after graduating, and it happened that this house came up for rent, and it was actually my grandma's house, the house my mom grew up in, and my grandma had moved out into a nursing home, and my mom was really having trouble renting it just because she was sort of conflicted about having people in the house since it was so close to her. And I saw the garage and pitched the idea to her, well, why don't we start a glassblowing studio? And that's how it all started. So now we're at the point after the 10-year mark, we're starting to look at other spaces, but this space so far has just served us very well, and we've been able to accomplish a lot in a small space. Variety is the spice of it. Sassy pear. What do you say, sassy pear? Glassblowing is a very process-oriented art form. It's team-oriented and process-oriented. Everything happens in steps. So you can work a little bit on the fly, and a good glassblower learns how to fix things when they're going wrong or there's a little bit of a mistake. Glassblowing, you very much have to be on. Like if something's not working, you either have to power through it or stop and try it a different day. Sometimes if the glass isn't quite right, you might need to rethink the whole day. Like if it's really bubbly or something, there's pieces that we can do. Or if it's a bit cool, there's pieces we can do. So you're really dealing with a lot of different factors in the studio, and being able to manage those is what makes a good glassblower. So what we usually do is we'll draw something out on the chalkboard. If we're making our own designs or we're doing something collaborative, it's always important to draw it out first so that we can talk over the steps, and then the color is all pre-cut and heated up in a small oven, and then that color is picked up and blown through. So if any of our pieces break, you can actually see that the color is actually just a thin layer on the outside or inside, and it's very much a layering process. So we have a melt furnace with just clear, and then we add glass color onto that. And also sort of a Bee Kingdom signature style is we like to add different blown pieces together, so we work in parts. So for the pieces that we were making in this video, we sort of have a nickname for them as trophy cups because they're very much sort of trophies and award cups, and they're actually blown in two separate parts and then joined together hot with a hot bit of glass and then opened up. So there's more than one bubble that makes the final piece. So you'll start off blowing your bubble, and then that piece, if you're making a vase, will have to be transferred onto something that's called the punty. So then the lip of the piece is attached to the pipe, and then once you transfer onto the punty, which means bridge in Italian, then you can open up the lip of the piece.
It's a very physical practice. It's like hot and strenuous, and you really need to focus as well. You can't just like stop glass blowing to check your Facebook page or have your coffee or whatever. You have to be there to finish the piece. So whenever I'm sitting at the bench working with something, I'm never like, my mind is never wandering. I'm always just sitting here thinking about like how well it's going or what I need to fix, what I could do in the future with it. Sometimes I generate ideas on the fly because I'll make a mistake or something will happen that I didn't expect, And then it opens up this whole new world of glass opportunities that I get to explore.
Stop.
Teamwork in the studio is like integral, not just in a hot shop where you need more bodies to like bring glass to each other, get bench hair, things like that. The process demands teamwork. But then also we've made glass, like Bee Kingdom, more of a lifestyle as well, where in the early years we were all living under the same roof, and all these jobs needed to be done, like with administration, cooking, cleaning, all those things. So we had to work together to figure out whose responsibility was what, and who had certain strengths and weaknesses. So we all held a certain strength and weakness. So like, for me, I'm really good at with the social media. I have a real keen eye for a sense of design. And then I do a lot of emails, grant writing, and Phil's really great at talking to people.
Then plug it with my thumb, and I now have a bubble.
He's definitely the Bee Kingdom spokesperson, and he's very technical minded, so he's shop tech as well. Yeah, so it's teamwork on all levels.
It's actually been quite a journey. We've had, I think in the arts, the thing is you're always looking for that next thing. So, and I think it would be in life as well, no matter what you do. Once you get one accomplishment, you sort of move on to the next. But once I look back at it, it's really nice to see all the things we've been able to be involved in. One of the things that really kicked off our career is we've done some work for the Pilchuck Glass School just outside of Seattle. And we were hired in 2008 to be designers for an annual awards that they have every year, and it's a fundraiser. So we made centerpieces for all of the tables, which were then auctioned off to raise money for the school. And that really, in 2008, was sort of our first big break, and things started rolling from there. We started showing overseas. For the future of Bee Kingdom, I'd really love to expand into a bigger studio, and maybe not even that much bigger, but maybe one that's a little bit more open to the public. And also maybe having our own show space would be really neat. And that's all things we're looking at this year, and seeing what we want to what we want to take on. So sort of expanding and continuing. I love traveling with the work, so being able to do more of that. I'd really love to be able to go to Japan. We're sort of looking at how we might be able to get it over there. It has a really great glass scene. And also the glass community throughout the world is very tight-knit. So I really enjoy being a part of that community. Even if I meet a glassblower from Japan, or from China, or from Turkey, even if you don't speak the same language, you'll be able to communicate through glassblowing, which I think is really interesting because the process doesn't differ that much. So going and working internationally, it's really interesting to see how different things can be, but then how the same things can be, and that language isn't a barrier because you can talk through the glass.